Being the big brother, I feel like, I definitely gotta set the example for my younger siblings. And, I feel like, the gamble and the hard work that I put in, that shows them, along with the rest of the world, that you can do anything you want if you just set your mind to it and put in the work. I mostly grew up in Rochester Hills, Michigan. It's about an hour north of Detroit. I'm the oldest of four. We're always competing in some sort of fashion, It's a little family competitiveness that me and my brothers have. I went to Warren De La Salle High School, and, that's about 40-minute drive from my house on a good day. It's about 15 minutes from Detroit, and, it's an all-boys Catholic school. And, my parents wanted to send me to a good Catholic school. I started playing off football, and then, basketball came around, and I was basically a two-sport athlete in high school, playing football and basketball. I was on the varsity team from my sophomore year all the way to my senior year. We won the state championship in my junior year in 2014. That was a tremendous feeling and something I'll remember for the rest of my life. Well, after we won the state championship, colleges started to come through, and kind of felt like I needed to narrow down my focus and focus on football, get faster, stronger, do all the other things that you need to prepare for football. And so I hung up the basketball shoes after my sophomore year, and schools from the Mid-American Conference showed up and showed interest. And, I was getting all those lower level schools that were interested, and it was a blessing that they were interested in me. And Michigan State came up and they offered me a preferred walk-on spot, and I was 99% positive, I wasn't gonna do that because, I'd be turning down other scholarships where I wouldn't have to pay for school or anything like that. I attended this walk-on event that Michigan State was holding. They took us around campus, showed us the facilities, and I just absolutely fell in love with the place, fell in love with the coaches, fell in love with the players. There's a really great group and a great culture that goes on here that I just absolutely fell in love with. But the hardest thing was I didn't have a scholarship coming here, so that made the decision to come here very, very tough. I got a lot of opinions on whether I should or should not come here. Talked to my family, they were supportive of me and anything I did. My brothers and my sister, they always showed up to my games and always showed support in me, and, they always had faith in me. And my parents, they provided for me in any way they can. My dad, there'd be days where I didn't see him because he'd work early in the morning and come home very, very late at night. My mom, she always helped us, at home, doing stuff around the house, providing for us. And, she's the best mom in the world. Went with my gut, went with what my heart told me, and I pulled the trigger. I called Coach Salem and Coach D'Antonio, and they were excited that I was coming. And I guarantee all the other coaches that recruited me, they thought I was absolutely insane for turning down a scholarship. But I feel like, that gamble really paid off for me.
Walk-on always has the longer road. If you know you're going to be a walk-on, you better just make sure that you're mentally prepared and that you're mentally tougher than everyone else, because it's going to be hard regardless of how good you practice, regardless of what you do. But as long as you have that, that mindset that you're going to push through no matter what, that mindset that, walk-ons like Drew Beesley does have, you're not going to let the outside noise affect you, then it works out.
Good. Don't be sloppy with it. Good. Don't be sloppy with it.
Well, I knew when coming in, nothing was guaranteed, and I knew I was going to be scout team my first year. And so what I did was, just busting my butt, being on scout team and trying to help the starters get better, prep them for every game, every week. My first off season with the team, Coach Manny, he got me up to around 240, 245-ish. All that hard work in the off season, that stuff pays off. Going into my second year, I had a very good camp. That's when things changed for me.
He knew he needed to get stronger, he needed to get bigger. With his ability to understand the defense, he could help guys inside and out. That's what we saw early as a scout. He was always one of the kids that was kind of the highlight of the group in our scout team.
First week of the 2017 season, we were playing Bowling Green, and we were just getting an introduction to them. It's like getting ready for their prep, and Coach D decided to play some highlights from the past fall camp. There's this screen that says scholarship awards, and I just see my face on there, and I'm like, wait, is that me? And it was like the greatest feeling on earth. And then, just that sense of accomplishment, all that hard work really paid off.
Just imagine Spartan Stadium when someone scores a touchdown. Like, it's just, it's a big roar. And everyone loves the underdog. And so, yeah, it was awesome. Everyone just stands up, starts clapping, hugging. Some people start crying. He was so happy. And yeah, it was awesome to see.
With all his hard work, he allowed that to happen. And, academics speak the same way.
Drew Beesley, honor, economics, football.
He's a young man that's academic all Big Ten, I think, the last couple years. So academically and athletically, he knew he could achieve here at Michigan State, and he's done that.
The hard work doesn't stop there. I set another goal for myself, that I was going to play. And then my reps in the season kept increasing more and more and more.
In the shotgun, Rashino decides to keep it, runs to his right, and is hit for no gain. Drew Beesley made the tackle.
Looking up to guys like Kenny Willikis and Matt Seibert, they were walk-ons, and they were kind of in the same boat I was in. And, they just had to work hard and, prove that they should be on the field. And, that's what both of those guys ended up doing. And, I talked to Kenny a lot because he was in the same position meetings as me. He always told me, just keep working hard, you'll get your shot someday. You just got to be patient. That's something that I take with me every day, just being patient, because you never know when your opportunity is going to come.
Snap back to Smith, right side throw.
Pick!
Intercepted. It is batted by the Spartans and lands in the lap of Drew Beesley. The Spartans bat the pass in the air. Drew Beesley gets the pick.
What I see is that belief in the strength, in his ability, not only because of the people in front of him, but just based on your family and knowing that you can have that opportunity to grow at a school like this with the great examples that have come before him, that he can do it too. And there's no doubt about it, he's exceeded that. He is a true mold of what we're looking for here as a walk-on who earns a scholarship and succeeds.
It's really simple with Drew. He's a simple-minded guy, and that's a guy who's going to come out, bring his work helmet, and he's going to get better every single day. I'm just proud of my best bud and how far he's come. He's only going to keep getting better.
Getting the scholarship from my family, I feel like it was very important because, they were able to send me to such a great Catholic school. They supported me my first year at Michigan State. Just being able to provide for myself and my siblings, I feel like I have to be a good example for them. It just shows that you can do anything you want if you just be consistent, be patient, work hard, and put your mind to it.
It's game 2 of the 2020-2021 season, and we've got the Michigan State University Spartans set to take on the University of Detroit Mercy Titans. We get the opportunity to watch some great Michigan basketball. That's State of Michigan basketball between Detroit as well, of course, Michigan State. For Michigan State, they have dominated this all-time series. It's the 30th meeting between these two teams. Michigan State has won 17 straight in the all-time series, and we are underway at the Breslin Center in the second game of the year for the Spartans.
Clouden trying to change that on the drive. Kicks to the corner. Osment with a three. Yes! Torrey Osment buries the left corner three off the assist from Nia Clouden. Into the post. Parks makes the catch and lays it up and in easy. Torrey Osment buries another left wing three. That one didn't catch any of the rim. 2 seconds left over to Ayrault. One. Ayrault's got to get it up. Julian Ayrault bangs it off the glass and in. Then around to the left wing, Cloud puts up the three ball. Got it. Rattled it home. Cloud for three. Yes! Nia Cloud from the right wing. Cloud buries back-to-back threes. Michigan State basketball up 14. Into the post. Parks makes the catch, lays it in, and a foul! And one, Taiyier Parks. Michigan State up 47. Detroit 34. And now Osmond has a steal, and in transition, she gets to the bucket and lays it in with the right hand. A bit of a choppy start for MSU earlier tonight as Jackman has a steal, flings ahead to Winston, one-on-one in transition, and Winston lays it up and in. A victory for MSU. Michigan State defeats Detroit 82-45.
She is my all seasons child, meaning that, she's up, she's happy. In the wintertime, she's that person that want to give you a hug, and she's always that person that want to make you smile. So the immature one, because she's the baby, of course, but for the most part, she embraces life.
I would say I'm creative, very outgoing in certain situations, funny. My mom played D1 at Youngstown State. My oldest brother, Omari, played at Villanova basketball. And Rajman's right now is playing at Temple University.
She was the little sister that always wanted to follow behind her big brothers, Growing up, she competed to the highest level because she saw that's what they did. And she wanted to be able to play with them. And being the only girl, gave her a sense of ownership, but it also made her want to do bigger and better things than her older brothers.
I started playing basketball in 3rd grade, and my first coach ever was my mom. Ooh, that was a journey. Because she's like, your parents are more hard on you compared to others. So it's more that type of dynamic during that time.
Yeah, that lasted all but a short minute because I'm a treat you like an athlete. I was a college coach myself. So they look for the mom hat. And she's like, can you take off the coaching and be just my mom? So I'm like, I'm gonna try to make you the best that you can be. And with that sometimes come bittersweet love,
We did butt heads a lot. It was one time we were in a championship game and we were ahead and I got the rebound and I heard somebody say, take off. And so I did.
The clock doesn't start until you cross half court and you had 10 seconds, maybe it was 15 seconds to get across half court. It was only 9 seconds left in the game and we was up by 1 point against the undefeated team of our little league and we were in last place. So all I told her to do was, Taiyier, get the ball and dribble it in the back court, let the time go out, we win the game and we win the championship.
So I go down the court with the ball and I completely blew the layup. And the other team got it, came back down, scored, and we lost. My mom was so mad at me.
Yeah. We were so close. But it's a lesson learned, and I was so upset because I just knew we had that victory. It's all out of love at the end of the day. And I think at such a young age, she didn't understand it. I never coached her again, but I picked or selected coaches that I thought would not be easy on her. And she trusted my judgment because of that.
So she stuck with being the supportive mom in the stands instead. And after every game, she'd give her feedback on what she saw. I feel like it helped me grow a lot. From her insight, she'd tell me oh, when you're posting up, do this type of footwork and compared to that to make my job easier.
You never want to feel like you let your children down, but understanding that whatever I say to you, I have your best interest at heart. You know, I always have that gray area, but it's going to be direct. And what I mean by that is sometimes I don't sugarcoat things for them, but we do have a relationship that she can come to me for anything, and I mean anything, and it'll be okay.
It's beautiful, actually, to have that connection with your mom, because like no matter what, you know that she's there for you.
We sat down as a family and talked about everything, but I did notice that when it came to her selecting a university, one of her biggest things was staying closer to home and finding a coach that mirrored some of the values or a lot of the values that I had.
I technically knew I wanted to come to Michigan State. It was 8th grade, and I took my first visit here. And once I walked into Breslin, the gym, it just felt like I was supposed to be here. But I told my mom that. She was like, well, sweetie, you have to wait. You're only in 8th grade. And like, but back in my mind, I knew I wanted to come here.
When we met with Coach Susie, we both knew she was the one that had the mother nurture type in her repertoire, but also was hard-nosed and would encourage, push, and sometimes have to wear that hat of, I'm not your friend today.
When I tore my ACL for the first time, a couple people backed away from me, but Michigan State stayed. And then when I tore it again, they increased their attention towards me, and that helped me build a more personal relationship because you stuck by me through tough times, and I appreciate that. I'm real big on loyalty and family, so I saw that with Michigan State.
As tonight, Michigan State welcomes in the Broncos of Western Michigan out of the MAC, playing just their second game of the season. And they haven't played since November 25th. A tough task tonight as they take on Tom Izzo and the Spartans of Michigan State.
Top pass, high post goes over to Joey Hauser. Hauser, mid-range jump shot's good, and we're tied at 2. Out front, Rocket, he'll try a 3. He got it.
Michigan State on a field goal drought, and Henry shoots him out of it. That was nifty. Nice move for Gabe Brown. Trying to back down Taiyier, but Taiyier gets the block shot. Great pass. What a pass.
Langford open for the 3 on the side. He got it.
And he should make that 3. What a play by Langford.
They counted the bucket, and Western Michigan is back within 6 here.
Ball's rejected.
By Marcus Bingham, who else?
And all in all for Western Michigan, they survived a 14-2 run by Michigan State in the middle part of the half to pull within 4. I think the Broncos have to be pretty happy. Open look, Hauser, yes. Here comes Hauser again. Langford, beautiful dish. Bingham with a flush.
Goes down low to Bingham, who got behind right for the easy slam. Now to Hauser, here comes a 3 ball. He got it.
Henry, though, missing another one, and then Langford with the offensive rebound. Josh Langford, what an effort underneath. And a block out of bounds. Aaron Henry rejecting Rafael Cruz. Michigan State finally imposing its will here a little bit as Henry up top. Hauser from 5 feet behind the arc. Everything is dropping. A new career high for Hauser. Michigan State, the number 8 team in the land, will get to a 5-0 start.